Are you guys ready for a brand new DCEU update? We actually have a lot to cover in today's video. I wanted to wait until there was some stuff to talk about, and there certainly is. 90% of what I talk about today, though, is going to be rumor. And don't get mad at me if these things don't come true, because I'm just reporting them based on what has been talked about on the internet. But some of the stuff I have to talk about today is fact. So I want to make sure I cover everything. So let's talk about the most important, not the most important, but what is actual fact first. We get the first glimpse at Blue Beetle. So Blue Beetle is being released in theaters. It was originally going to be an HBO Max movie, but this is something they've decided to move over to theaters. And as you can see by the suit, I'm digging this. This looks pretty dang good. So I'm actually excited to see a trailer for this and see what the look is going to be like. Hopefully it's as gritty as the costume looks. I really like the overall design. I was wondering how they were going to pull this off based on what the comic looks like, and they have definitely streamlined it and gave it a really good look. There's also been some controversy here associated with a brand new look at the Flash costume as well as Supergirl's costume. And a lot of people were bashing on the Flash costume, saying this is a step back from what Zack Snyder did. And I'm not willing to go that far because I haven't seen the movie. I don't know how it's going to function practically. And I'm going to wait until the movie comes out to reserve judgment on the way the costume looks. So we've got those things. Now, that, as far as I could tell you, is the only thing that is fact out of everything I'm going to talk about today. The biggest story is something I'm going to talk about at the very end. The next rumor that we have here is that Jon Stewart and Jessica Cruz are going to be the main Green Lanterns in the DCEU. There are several outlets that are reporting that. We know that there's going to be a Green Lantern show on HBO Max, but they're not giving out any information about that show. We haven't heard anything about Hal Jordan. We haven't heard anything about Jon Stewart. I just hope they get the same actor who was going to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League if they do go with Jon Stewart. But I don't know how you can even do the Green Lantern Corps if you don't have Hal Jordan. It should be Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. But I digress on that. That's just the way, the way politics are going and the way these studios feel like they have to pander to certain groups. So that leads us to the next story, which is somewhat rumor, but I have seen this picked up on multiple outlets, so I do believe this to be a fact. It is the fact that Warner Brothers is reportedly frustrated with the lack of DC projects coming from J.J. Abrams. He has been under contract now for about 2 years, and we haven't seen anything come out of that. He was brought on, people thinking to, replace Zack Snyder, and we have seen nothing of J.J. Abrams at all, and Warner Brothers is supposedly frustrated by all of that. It's their own fault. I mean, if they're not utilizing him, that's on them. We did hear there's a Superman project coming with Michael B. Jordan, but there hasn't been much talked about that at all. But that's making the rounds as well. Now, the big story I want to talk about is the whole Ben Affleck story, reportedly being offered a ridiculous sum of money to come back and be the Batman in the DC Extended Universe. He has been reportedly offered $30 million to come back to return as Batman to lead a crossover project of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, if everything plays out in the Flash movie the way the description has come out in the past in the bullet point video that I did a while back, I could see that actually being a real possibility. Now, there are some interesting things that have come out as well. We found out, let's talk about a few other things that have been kind of floating around out there. One of those things is the fact that we have Walter Hamada was out there making the rounds, and he's basically been talking about how he has had no contact at all with Zack Snyder since Zack Snyder's Justice League has been released. And he's kind of coming out of the woodwork due to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. And there's a lot of stuff coming out in regards to that whole trial. And she's coming out saying, they wanted to cut her part altogether, and that Jason Momoa and I think maybe James Wan fought to keep her in the movie. And I think what's-his-name came out and was saying that the reason they were really going to replace her was because there was no chemistry between her and Momoa, and that it was really difficult to get that chemistry to work in the first film, and they didn't even want to deal with it in the second film. Nobody knows what's true. I personally don't think anything. I don't believe anything that comes out of Heard's mouth. She has lied about many things that are very obvious and apparent based on evidence, but we're going to see how that whole thing plays out with her and Johnny Depp. But there's a real possibility she may be coming out of the Aquaman 2 movie altogether. So we're going to see where that ends up too. They're still currently working on that, and we've got a lot coming up in 2023. Not so much in 2022, but 2023 should be pretty freaking big for DC movies, and I'm looking forward to the Fandome, the DC Fandome later this year. Hopefully we get some amazing announcements. So outside of that, it's been pretty quiet. There's lots of things being, thrown out there, but I will tell you the whole Ben Affleck Batman thing is still rumor at this stage. Everything's rumor except the fact, that I talked about with the costumes at the beginning and what they've released for that stuff. Outside of that, there hasn't been a whole lot of concrete information that has been released over the last week. But I did want to get a new DC update out there for you guys. And just out of curiosity, I'd like to know if there are other things you guys would like me to review other than just DC stuff. I'm going to be reviewing all kinds of stuff on my channel, like movies and TV shows. And we got a lot coming up tomorrow. I'm going to see Maverick, so I will have a review up for that tomorrow. The Obi-Wan show starts tomorrow, so I will be reviewing the first 2 episodes on that as well. And then Stranger Things Season 4 gets released, so I am going to be busy watching all that stuff and getting reviews up on it. With the Obi-Wan show, I'm a massive Indiana Jones and a Star Wars fan. I hate the fact that Disney owns them, but it is what it is. I will be reviewing the Obi-Wan show, but I won't be doing it on a weekly basis. I'm going to watch 2 episodes at a time. I'm not going to watch it week to week. I'm going to wait for every 2 episodes at a time to be released, and that's how I'm going to watch it. All right, if you guys like today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's really important for the algorithms here on Facebook to get my information out there, and I do look forward to bringing you guys all kinds of information as stuff does get released, and I will be bringing you updates every single week and even more if the information calls for it. We'll see you guys on the next video.